movie The Contender portrayed many different communicative topics discussed throughout this course. Throughout the movie, a few of these topics were very apparent and expressed abundantly and consistently throughout. The Contender thoroughly elaborated on how masculine versus feminine communicative qualities play a role in politics, how television has personalized politics, and why a double bind for women in politics is always present. The first topic I'd like to talk about is how television has personalized politics. During the movie, The Contender, Governor Hathaway was on a TV show, getting interviewed after he tried to save a girl from a sinking car. The public was obtaining a view of complete heroism. This helped him gain support among the citizens while trying to become vice president. Another example is when Senator Elaine Hansen had pictures come out about a sexual encounter she took part in. It was a completely private matter, which later was broadcasted over many news channels and used against her in a vice president candidacy throughout the movie. Does television really portray the correct personalization? Senator Hansen, during a speech, she used her husband's, a quote from her husband. I'm guessing it's probably not the only time that she used it, but she did. It's not who she is, it was her husband's word. So are we really being given the correct visuals, the correct audio of who these people really are? Senator Hansen was on Larry King Live after being nominated for vice president. Someone called in and asked her who she best portrays as a politician. She replied with Thomas Jefferson. This allowed viewers to gain more information on her character as a whole. It also showed how her masculinity can help play a role in winning political elections. The second topic I'd like to talk about is the portrayal of masculine versus feminine communicative qualities. Senator Hansen's husband was her campaign manager. He managed her campaign. She was his boss while on the job, and I'm guessing she was the authoritative figure when back at home. They both had a son who was 6 years old, but it seemed as if Elaine Hansen, senator, she had the more authoritative position. In 2002, Karen Anderson, in reference to Hillary Clinton's relationship with Rudy Giuliani, stated, "That was new in American politics, for a male candidate to think twice about projecting an assertive image while his female opponent was lauded for being similarly aggressive." During the movie The Candidate, there's a great example of how this quote would be used in real life. Senator Hansen was being verbally attacked by Chairman Runyon. In the middle of his sentence, she matched his verbal level, saying, "Chairman Runyon, sir." He stopped in the middle of his sentence for her to speak. In this instance, it showed her masculinity side of communication. On 2012, Anya Toplowski explains that, "I have found that getting feminism to be taken seriously in a philosophical milieu is an immense struggle." Philosophical milieu. Philosophical is speaking of your opinions, your views on the world, and how you think the world should be ran. And if you were to take office, how would you do things? The milieu is your community, your social community, which if you're running for a political seat in office, you're going to be talking to a community. You're going to be talking to people. You're going to be talking to mass amounts of people. Shelley Runyon tells Hansen that he doesn't want someone like Lincoln or Jefferson. They were men of greatness. He wants someone with the promise of greatness, and you don't have it. Referring to gender in his argument, he is undoubtedly shooting her potential down because she is a woman. Runyon may also be referring to the double bind that women face while trying to become powerful on a large scale. In this case, is it that Hansen isn't great because her gender associations will not allow it? The third point that I'd like to talk about is the double bind that women face in politics. Double binds have put a damper on women becoming dominant in politics. This movie portrayed many instances in which the double bind played a negative role in Senator Hansen's quest for vice presidency. Senator Hansen showed that she was strong about not talking in regards to the sexual event that she took part in, but by not answering, was she sending the wrong message? Not answering means it could be true, and if so, does she carry the correct moral strengths associated with being the vice president? The president told Governor Hanson at the beginning of the movie, when she was first being introduced as a candidate for vice presidency, he told her that she looked great, and his chief of staff told her that she looked beautiful. This type of description could be considered very feminine, and not in line with what citizens really want in their vice president. This type of dress could bring up many questions in the public's eye. It is apparent that gender and the media play a sizable role in general appeal of any given political candidate. Female versions versus male communication qualities in politics, how television has personalized politics, and how the double bind for women in politics is always present, were all topics brought to life in the contender. All in all, politicians are only speaking and acting in order to persuade you. RS in 2010 stated, most times when politicians are debating and are delivering speeches, they place their image before their personality.